It's a great pleasure, friends, to be here. And I didn't anticipate that I would have this opportunity to come to Scotland again. But I told the British National Assembly that I would be very happy. They asked me if I would have a meeting with the friends in Great Britain. I said, naturally, I will if you ask me. So they made arrangements for the conference in Manchester and for this one in Glasgow. And of course that has been my good fortune that I could come back to Scotland, because otherwise I don't know when I ever would have found the time to come back to Scotland with all the things that are going on. I think that the cause in Scotland has made a tremendous amount of progress, not only since I was here, but from the inception of the faith in Great Britain. I know Shoghi Effendi had a great love for the Scottish people, and I mean that very sincerely. Of course, he had a general feeling of affection and goodwill towards all people of all nations and whatever their background was. But there were some peoples perhaps I should say, in the world that he was particularly attracted to their character. And one of those groups of people happened to be the Scottish people. You know, Shoghi Effendi and I came here to Glasgow together, and I've been trying to remember the year, but I can't pinpoint it. It was after the war, when things were better, so it must have been, say, between 1946, 47, and perhaps 52 or 3. I don't know which year. But we came to Scotland, as many of you have heard me say before, because he'd been here, of course, when he was a student in this part of the world. But he told me once in London, he said, I'm going to take you back to the home of your ancestors. And he took me to Aberdeen. Otherwise, I can't imagine how I ever would have gotten to Aberdeen, but he'd heard me mention that my father's family came from Aberdeen. One side of the family came from Aberdeen, and he said, I'm going to take you back to the home of your ancestors. So we went to Edinburgh, we went to Aberdeen, and to various places. We motored up from London, I drove him, and we came over to Glasgow for one day. Just, you might say, to come to this city. And we had no particular purpose in coming, except that it was a famous Scottish city, and the Guardian thought that it would be nice for us to go over and have a look at Glasgow. We were in Edinburgh at that point. So that this place, this city that we are in today, was honored by a visit from Shoghi Effendi. I think that the Scottish people have a great deal to give. I don't mean that those who are not Scottish people, but after all, it is Scotland. I think that the Scots have a great deal to give to other people, to contribute, if you like, to the progress of the Baha'i faith because of their characteristics. They're a very open people. They're very staunch people. They're a very persevering people. They are canny and cautious people. There's nothing the matter with that. And they are a people who, in the history of the British Empire, I suppose one could go back much further than that, have always had this quality of being able to build up, to contribute. They invented, they created, they established. And it has been a definite racial, in the broad sense of the word race, a racial characteristic of the Scottish people. So that I think that those who are present day Scottish Baha'is have a great deal to contribute to the Baha'i faith, not only here, but all over the world. Many of them have pioneered, Many of them are traveling teachers whenever the opportunity arises. They serve in different capacities here and elsewhere. But we can never have sufficient amount of their services.